Hey guys, I am Sean from the Comics Pals live at New York Comic Con 2022, and I'm here with my annual special interview.
Oh,
The writer who, I mean, let's just be real. At this point,
All
you're
right.
approaching living legend status. You are, I mean, you've been here. This is you. You've been this for a long time, but now you're in the books.
yeah.
You're in the books.
All right. That's
Writer.
you're not saying anything untrue in that regard.
Exactly.
The living legend. See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's all a matter of perspective. You know, it's like sometimes people find out what I do, and especially the last couple of years with Twisted and Tony Schiavone and this next thing coming up, and like, oh, are you famous? And I'm like, I mean, there's all seriousness. It's like, it's a matter of perspective.
Sure.
It's like I'm at New York Comic Con. I'm rocking out. One of the guests of the show and an artist alley.
Yeah.
I go to the grocery store and nobody knows who I am.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, it's all a matter of perspective. So, but if I'm a living legend to some, then all the better.
Some might even say rock star, which is, of course, a piece of the title.
A segue.
Yes.
A beautiful. See, this is why Sean's the man. This is why he knows what's going on. To Rockstar Paranoia,
Yes.
Tales of Mr Rhee, Volume 5.
Volume 5.
Long awaited, here at last. Big debut at New York Comic Con.
Yes.
Kickstarter people finally got theirs. It'll be in stores early next year. So,
Of course, as if I need to say the name of the man, I am speaking with Dirk Manning.
Dirk, yeah, now they'll know who I am.
So Dirk, it's
Yes,
been
sir.
a little while since the last time we spoke.
Yeah.
Since then, I have had in my hands Rockstar Paranoia, Tales
Okay.
of Mr Rhee Volume 5.
Right.
And I got to tell you.
Yes, because I'm going to go behind the curtain.
Yes.
You told me you read it, and then we agreed, like, I'm just going to get the hot take on the air, so
Yes.
hold on.
Prepare yourself.
All right, lay it on me.
It is fun.
Oh.
It is so fun. So fun. So
Good.
As you guys know, I've been reading Tales of Mr Rhee since Volume 1.
Yep.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I have to say that I think this might be the most fun I've had
That's
with
awesome.
the series to date. It's
That's
so good.
That's awesome because and there's a couple factors there. One, Volume 4 I felt was so heavy, right?
Yes,
And like
yes.
the no big spoilers, but like, well, Volume 4 is the end of Act 1. It's like the big showdown with Ranibus, and it
Right.
kind of comes to the end of the Ranibus stuff. And then working with Austin McKinley, who I know you'll be talking to shortly,
Yes.
who's here at New York Comic Con with us, on Volume 5, Austin's a fun artist, and it was like the kinetic energy he brings to the pages and
Right.
stuff. And I wanted to start Act 2 with a certain vibe. So I'm really glad that when you say I had fun with it, because it's quick, it's fast, it just goes. Austin's art is so vibrant and
Yeah.
action-packed and animated and good, man. I'm glad.
So Austin, being the artist, I'm glad you brought Austin McKinley up.
Yeah.
Austin's art, I think, fit perfectly for the vibe of this particular story. Because
Good.
he's able to bring to life the monster stuff, which is all cool.
Yeah.
But the book also has this kind of kinetic energy to it.
Yeah.
This real fun energy that it makes you want to turn the page just as much as the writing does.
Thank
so
you.
what was the process like working with Austin on the main, the big book?
Yeah, Austin and I have worked together from the earliest days of Nightmare World for, I'll be real, almost 20 years we've
Yeah.
worked together. He was the original colorist on the first half of Tales of Mr. Volume 1. He really, truly helped set the tone for the whole Tales of Mr. Rhee franchise,
Right.
And obviously we did the omnibus, we went back and I had to make the decision to go back and do it all in color to match. But still, Austin's colors on that set that tone. We've done several shorts for Nightmare World over the years. He did a one-shot. He did one of the chapters in Tales of Mystery Volume 3. Did Butts and Seats. So we've worked together a lot.
Sure.
But this was the first time we got to cut loose on this big, frantic book. And he's always been such an instrumental part of the Tales of Mystery franchise to finally get to do the big story. He introduced Ganon in Volume 3, which is a really important character moving forward in the series. Again, we see some of that in Volume 4. It was just, again, you hit the nail on the head. It was fun, which Rhee is a dark book, and it's a heavy book. And I think there's moments in Volume 5 that are heavy, but to me, it was a no. From the conception of Volume 5, I knew who I wanted. And I wanted to work with Austin on this because he's a guy who just brings that almost a controlled manicism.
Sure.
I'll make up a word, to the book, And with Tales of Mr. Volume 5, the whole book takes place over the span of a couple hours.
Right.
right? For the most part, just go, 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 go. And originally I was going to do something with like a clock motif, and you see different clocks everywhere. But with Austin's art, I didn't even need to do that because it just moves, it just moves, it just moves, it just goes. So it was fun. It was really cool. I'm excited to work together with again on more long form stuff. But to cut loose with him on this was a long time coming and worth the wait for me. And I'm glad. I hope it was worth the wait for everyone who reads the book.
Yeah. And if you are a fan of Tales of Mr Rhee, I think you're going to love this. If you're not, if you have not yet been exposed, what are you waiting for?
We have an omnibus now coming out. It'll be in stores early next year by James O'Barr cover, who did The Crow.
Right, yes.
But yeah, this collects the first 4 volumes of the book in full color. So you can jump in that way, and then volume 5 will be out after that.
Now, in volume 5, I feel like you got the opportunity yourself to cut loose a little bit. There were some of your other inspirations, some of your other passions were at play, and I know how you feel about spoilers, so we will not do that.
Okay.
But I feel like you got to express some of your rock star leanings. People who know Dirk for karaoke probably have an idea of what we're talking about. So there's a little bit of that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little thing to do in there to insert a little bit of an inside joke in there for there's a certain cameo. But even like you said, I mean, I did music journalism for years before I wrote comics.
Right.
And so I'm really still to this day, even with Twisted, to get connected to the world of rock.
Yeah.
And then to even, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a throwback from Nightmare World that for me, I have waited almost 20 years to get to this moment.
Wow.
With a rock band element to things. There's very few plot threads that didn't get totally wrapped up in Nightmare World, but this was one I always knew was going to come back to. So getting to finally write that scene and then have Austin draw this scene that I've been waiting to get to for in my time, like 15 years, you know, and this Nightmare World throwback and continue to do stuff like that was fun. But getting to dabble in that rock and roll world a little bit. I think you have Rhee, who's such a stoic character, and coming out of the events of Volume 4 and just in this larger than life world, and it was a fun paradox to have Rhee, who's so stoic and so grounded, in this world where there's celebrity and even Charity from the Promise Group is buying into the celebrity-ness of all of this.
Right.
And it was fun. It was really fun to get to play in that world for this volume.
Now, there's a particular moment that happens, and again, no spoilers.
Okay.
But, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a moment with Rhee where he takes someone out and he says something. It's towards the end of the book.
Oh.
That got me. If you're a wrestling fan, when you read this book, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. You got me with that one.
Good.
And I love the way you pepper in those moments for, like, if you don't know what it means, it's just a line, It's a good, It's a good quippy line.
Right.
But if you do, then it takes you into a whole other territory, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, Rhee is really a case, Mr. Rhee, the character, is really a case in my mind always of still waters run deep, He doesn't talk a lot, usually. And like you said, there's a moment in the book where he finally kind of opens up, and it kind of foisted upon him a little bit too, And it's an example of, he's this quiet guy. He doesn't express himself. He's very reserved, but he's had a lot of life-changing stuff happen, and he seizes a moment. And I'm glad you caught some of the little, I don't say in-jokes, but some of the influence there.
Sure.
And then, of course, at the very end of the book, we throw another curveball into it. So, But again,
I loved the character development for Rhee because he's very much like borderline, especially in this one, the everyman in the sense that all this stuff is happening around him, and you kind of self-insert like, oh my God, this is so wild. Mm-hmm. He's got powers. He's typically the one who is thrust into this wild situation and has to figure it out. This time, he's following up on the events of Tales 4, and he's kind of like disoriented.
Very, very much. Like I said, Rhee's an interesting series for me to write because some of it happens around him, and he finds himself in the middle of all this stuff going on and things like that. But it's like you start to see, especially after the events of Volume 4, as we're entering Act 2, it's like, and again, I don't want to spoil too much, but he almost starts to take control, but then in a way, control is wrested right back from him again and again, You know, and it's like he can't get over that hump. It's like he thinks he's in the driver's seat a little bit, and then the bottom falls out again. You know, so it's gonna be. I always say Mr. Rhee's the series. If I had to write one series for the rest of my life, this would be the one.
Right.
I am more excited than ever to get to Volume 6 and to get deeper into Volume 2 or Act 2 and what's going on in this series, because the story's kicking into high gear now, you know.
Speaking of which,
yes,
you know I have to ask.
Okay.
When can we expect Volume 6?
I am booking into 2024 right now.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
So my hope would be late 23, more likely early 24.
Okay.
But I want to get ahead, and I want to start getting back to, if not a rebook a year, a rebook every about 18 months or so. Because it's a long series, you know, and it's like one of these things, it's like, man, if I do a book a year, I know the end point. Right. I know what the thing is going. I'm like, oh man, that's...
So I take a while.
I got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
But I have so many other cool things coming out too, but I want to balance that with a book that so many other people are passionate about that I'm passionate about. So I would say, and especially now that a lot of the shipping issues and stuff are done, but I'm anxious to get back to it. Austin and I are talking about doing this one. I already know the story, obviously, of Rhee 6, what's going to happen. Again, it's going to be very kinetic, a lot of energy, and again, starting to pick up another plot point from earlier in the series that we haven't followed to its natural conclusion yet. Something people might say, Volume 6 will be a story that people really get to sink their teeth into.
Oh boy.
And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
There's your hint for you astute readers out there.
I love the hints. I love the teases. It's very fun. Speaking of teases.
Yeah.
So you recently got a bit of a promotion.
Yeah.
You are Special Projects Manager at SourcePoint Press.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That is a result of some of the stuff that you've been able to put together over the last few years, particularly the books with Twisted, Haunted Highons with Twisted, and then, of course, Butts and Seats, the Tony Schiavone story, which, as I've said to you before, is phenomenal. I love it. It is a book that every single wrestling fan should own.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That being said, you've got some more special projects on the horizon.
Oh, yeah.
So can we talk about the next special project?
Yes. Yeah, the next thing, it'll be actually launching on Kickstarter mid-November. Arn Anderson graphic novel.
Yes.
The Enforcer, the founder of the Four Horsemen.
Yes.
You know. So that'll be the next one. Around Halloween, we're going to be announcing, I can say with no exaggeration, the biggest property, franchise, I guess, kind of creator I've ever been involved with by a mile.
Wow.
And I've worked with some really good stuff, and I'm really proud of everything I've done. This thing, the next thing, and again, I'm not taking away from the books I've done with Tony or Twisted. I'm definitely taking away my creator-owned work. This classic horror thing is, I called my parents when the contract got signed.
Wow.
My parents were excited. They're like, what? Like I've never heard my parents more. Like, so how's it going? Have you talked about this thing? And you know, like they're like checking in about it, 'cause they want to know what's going to happen. So I think we're going to announce that, and that'll be a project I'm Special Projects managing. I'll give you one more kind of exclusive. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but it's a 2-book deal.
Ooh.
And I'm writing one of them. I'm project managing both of them. But I'm only writing one of them because I want to share the love on this. And it's really big. It's really exciting. Classic horror fans are going to lose their mind. And I can say with no exaggeration, we can talk about this more when it's time, when it's released.
Yeah.
People talk about like their dream project. The thing that I'm doing for this thing, literally a fantasy project.
Wow.
I don't mean like fantasy like the genre. Like, this is something like, as a horror fan, like, I fantasize, like, man, I just wish that this thing could, I gotta be real careful about how I say, like, I wish this thing could, like, be a thing and exist.
Sure.
And I'm going to directly have a hand in it being real. And I got to be real careful because people might start figuring out what I'm talking about here. But it's really, I'm super excited about it. I'm super honored. Great teams on everything. Again, we'll talk about that, soon. But yeah, so we got Arn Anderson, got that, and then we're looking at some other stuff as well. So
awesome. Well, that is a lot to be excited about. The world of Dirk Manning stays so exciting, and I want to congratulate you because it's only gotten bigger. It's only gotten better. As a fan, it's gotten more fun to follow.
Thank you.
You go from a time where there's a book releasing here or there to I come by and it's like, wow, everything here is new. It's special. So congratulations on all the success that you've had.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk really soon once again about what's to come.
Oh, yeah, man. 2023, I think I'm going to have almost a book a month out.
Wow.
So between issues and trades and grabbing out, thank you, man.
Yes.
I look forward to it. Appreciate you very much. And
yes.
all the comic pals, all of you that are watching, truly, thank you for taking the journey. I'm very grateful. I'm very, very thankful. So thank you. Thank you.
I'm grateful to you for the time and grateful to you for watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are the Comics Pals. Well, I'm the Comics Pals. Dirk is Dirk. Check Dirk out on social media at Dirk Manning. For us, you can follow us all weekend long. We're going to be posting interviews, fun cosplays, stuff we see on the show floor. All that's to come. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, guys.